Well, very excited. I thought, first off, yesterday to make the postponement, not anything I want to do. I was just talking with Josh. We called each other mid-morning, and I just said, hey, I think the smart thing here just to table everything, allow everybody to make some plans and adjust. So I apologize. I know I made some inconveniences, but we wouldn't have even gotten anything in last night. By NCAA rules, if we started and it got stopped, that counts as a practice, and it takes away one of our most important scrimmage days. So made the decision. I thought it was a good one today. A lot of great things out there today. The biggest thing is we want to play clean football, and for the most part, did that. There were some examples of things we got to clean up. Offensively, I thought we executed pretty well, pretty good with the ball security, especially with the ones. Twos did some good things as well. We went a lot of good on good, and in the first part there was Stud. I want to get, I kind of referred to him as the Big Five, Johnny and Keith and Isaiah and Julian and Isaiah Williams. Let them play non-tackle, and then we pulled them out, and then we went tackle for everybody else, and saw some good things. Really good to see kind of a good crowd out there. I didn't know what it was going to be, but that was awesome. And then also we had about 200 former Lettermen in this weekend, and saw them last night in the building, and then saw them again tonight. Really good to be in front of them. Hopefully they get a little bit more pride as we move forward. So really excited about that. And with that, open up for some questions.
This is probably our best look at Luke Altmaier. What has he shown you in these last 14 practices?
We've gotten 14 practices in, and he's gotten better, I think, in each one. He understands football very easily. It comes to him naturally. Very accurate, good passer. I think what we do is a lot of things he's familiar with. Him and Barry have, I think, meshed together very well from a coach-player relationship. But also I thought, Donovan did some good things today. Obviously the one interception, but these guys aren't used to working with each other all the time, so some of the routes and QB combos, it's something that will get a little bit more enhanced the more reps they get together. But and then I thought John Paddock came in and did some good stuff. I thought our running backs really ran hard. Excited up front that we blocked some people offensively that allowed those gaps and those runs to start happening. But defensively, we played with good attitude, good energy. Saw some good open field tackling. I thought we kicked the ball pretty well, and we did some punt at the beginning and field goals, and then Caleb Griffin's really hitting the ball all through spring ball. So excited to see that go forward. But yeah, Luke has been impressive, and I think the best is yet to come.
Hank Beatty making some plays.
Who's that?
Is it Hank Beatty?
Yeah.
Is that indicative of the kind of spring he's had?
Since Hank got here, he's got, I would say, exceptional hand skills, right? He's been a guy that's been decorated for the way he's caught the ball for his entire high school career. Catches the ball very naturally, catches it in traffic, catches it in open spacing, catches it over his shoulder. He's just a very talented receiver, and today is just a little bit of what we've seen all spring and really going back to last fall.
Barry mentioned Brandon Henderson on your offensive line. As far as your early enrollees, as offensive line go, he was getting a lot of work today.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was getting better and better.
Brendan has been a very impressive player. I go back to Coach Sunk. The first time I was in the high school with Coach Sunk as a head coach here at Illinois, he pointed out Brendan to me and said, that's the guy. He loves football. He loves to play. He trains. Went through some weight loss when he was in high school, and just incredible motor. And Coach Sunk had a lot of great players, right? And when he points somebody out like that, I took notice. Literally offered him the next day, just based off of a guy that I really respect in the profession. And I would say Brendan has probably played as many different positions and taken as many reps as anybody in this program the entire spring. He ran with one day he ran with the ones, the twos, and the Devo and didn't bat an eye. So just really excited about him and where he can go.
Speaking of freshman, Canary Wiltshire getting some meaningful reps. What has he brought in just his first semester?
Yeah, Canary, kind of what we thought. We originally recruited him as a corner, and then about halfway through, I said, "You want to play wide receiver?" And he started smiling. So, pretty easy decision. I think he led the state of Florida in receptions. I go back to a couple scrimmages ago, kind of a cold day that first day, and he was the first one to catch one on a boundary with his fingertips, and just shows he has exceptional skills in the catching department. He's a very fast player. Learns very well. He's a very competitive player. Great personality. I think he's a huge hit for us, and I think really good things to come.
Coach, in terms of naming a starting quarterback, is that way down the road?
Yeah, got to give you things to write about, right? But yeah, I think tonight we showed there's probably three guys that have continued to be impressive all spring. I think that brings the best out of people, and those three guys have continued to be very impressive. And each of them have a definite skill level, but also different levels of experience. Obviously, John Paddock's obviously been a starter, right? Luke's had a couple live game scenarios in the SEC, and of course Donovan's been living and breathing football his whole life. So all of them have gotten better. As far as naming a quarterback, I would say not to put a dag on it, but I could see it parlaying a little bit like last year. I think we have a good idea where we're going, but we probably won't do anything officially until we're probably real sure, maybe a week or two out.
And leadership-wise, that's usually a position that kind of
Yeah, but
Tommy jumped in that last
completely different. Tommy was a different personality. Luke's a totally different personality than him. John Paddock is probably a little bit in the middle, and Donovan's probably a little combo of all three. I think quarterback's got to have a bravado and understanding and chemistry, and I think all three of those guys have it. Kirkland Michaud, even at that time, comes in and does some stuff. I like the personality of our quarterback room and where it's at.
Brett, how do you expect in a second spring? How have you seen the offense evolve with Barry and different personnel?
I think just the familiarity, even going into winter workouts, we're allowed to do a lot of ASMM, which is alignment, shift, motions, and movements, and the recall of the guys. Even though, I would think when you interview Luke, there was a lot of carryover from what he did at Ole Miss, him and Barry, and obviously head coach at Ole Miss.
John?
No, head coach Lane, and what he done right was very down some of the same tree as Barry, and so I think there was some carryover for him. And then Paddock is just a very quick learner. He's a very high football IQ, and then Donovan's been hearing it, right? He's heard it the most, him and Michaud. So there's a lot of good carryover for the quarterbacks.
Just big picture, I know you have one more practice. What do you guys feel like you were able to accomplish this spring, and what did you maybe helped inform you personnel-wise about what you guys feel?
The biggest thing for me, I tell our players all the time, right? As a head coach and as a player, there's one thing we all share, right? We can't buy time. We can't borrow time. We can't go back and buy a day. We can't go forward and buy a day. We have to live the moment and be the best as we can. And we've gotten 14 practices. I asked them at the beginning of the year to take advantage of every opportunity. When we came into winter, we talked about taking advantage of all 8 weeks, and now we came into spring ball. We said let's get it better on 15 practices, and we've got 4 in the books. I think we've gotten better in every one. As long as we do that, I don't care what the rest of the country's doing. I know what we can do, and we just got to keep jumping forward, and we've done that. I think our guys understand it. I think I get a kick out of it when you're talking to them, and they'll say what practice it was, what number it is. And I just think when you see and hear other players, they don't talk that way, right? It's kind of just in the process. And it's another indicator to me that the guys understand what we're trying to do.
There's been a lot of mixing, matching in the secondary this spring. Where do you kind of feel like that group is at with those guys right now?
Who's that?
Just with the secondary overall.
Oh, secondary. It's been a little bit of everything because, Matt Bailey's out, right? And obviously he's a catalyst, I think, for what we're going to do forward. And then you had Taz, who was limited because of his hand, and then he had a concussion, so he was out a little bit. And now this is literally his first day back, even on a limited basis. In the secondary, we had Xavier Scott kind of playing 3 or 4 different positions, but I think he'll settle into one. Nicario Harper is a very impressive player. He's got to learn to play within his own means, but a very impressive and a player that got better every day this spring. I really like the growth of Tyson Rooks. I really like Zach Tobey is a kid that's been pretty impressive since he came in. I thought T. Strain has continued to move forward a little, into what he's able to do. So I'm excited. Aaron's been great. Antonio's been a great addition in the back end with us. That room has been a lot of moving pieces, but I'm excited where they're at.
I'm poor at counting, but where are you in terms of could you add a guy or 2 or 3 here between now and this?
Yeah,
process?
I think I said the other day we got 3 open. But I'm not oblivious here over the next 3 or 4 days. I'm sure I could get some things thrown at me within our own team. I understand, it's part of the process that we're in college football. Our coach of ed conversations, we'll go through individual. I'll meet literally with every player on our roster, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'll kind of handle it day by day. But we'll have a couple more that we're in the mix of trying to secure now.
Right. Defensively, do you think Kiana has versatility as a backer, just both inside and outside, that you could get him out
KO?
there?
Yeah. He's he's not overly tall, but he's really long and has explosive skill sets. Very instinctive player. It's been fun. He was a high school running back. I remember when I was talking with Coach, he's like, Brett, I don't know what he is, but I know he's a football player, and that's kind of what we've discovered. Like, it's just, again, another recommendation from an Illinois high school coach that we took. Okay, this is what you said, this is what we are, and that's exactly what we've got, right? So it's been fun to kind of see that unleash and get out there and do what he does.
How did postponing this for a day kind of impact what you had planned recruiting-wise?
It actually helped us, right? I don't think, but like, if we had like 60 guys coming on Thursday, and if we came for the game, we have to get involved in the game and get all these different things. So when we made that shift, on Wednesday, we immediately got on the phone. Pat and his whole staff started contacting because there's all kinds of rules. We can't call them, but we can text them, and like just all kinds of craziness. But we had a great day yesterday, had an incredibly day today, and then actually we get a bonus tomorrow. Some of those people that were coming Thursday, leaving Friday, they came today and they're staying overnight and coming tomorrow. So it actually, in our favor, worked out very, very well.
Maybe just a random one. There's some rule changes today.
Yeah.
Most notably the clock on first down.
Yeah.
What do you land on that? I'm assuming you had a sense that was on the
Yeah, I had a good feeling for the last month. It is what it is. Control the controllables. I don't know if it's going to affect the game the way they think it's going to, right? Like a lot of times there's unintended consequences, like when they put the shot clock in college football, it literally created up-tempo offense when they were trying to, make the game more constituted. Now they made it longer because now the clock's stopping all the time. So we'll play the rules, kind of just like in recruiting. We'll play the rules as we know them and see what happens. But I don't think it changes your game management, but I think for sure, the last 6 minutes of each half, you really got to begin to think it's going to go quicker than it's ever gone, right? So it's kind of a modified 2-minute scenario really for the whole game.
To have Witherspoon on the sidelines tonight ahead of the NFL draft, what does that mean for the program and on the rest of the
A lot of good players. I saw Palcho, I saw Pilstrom. I looked over and all of a sudden I saw Spoon and Kendall sitting over there, and excited for those guys. I've been fortunate enough to be around a lot of good players, and maybe I just have forgotten because the last 2 years there wasn't a lot of traffic. But my phone, the last 4 weeks is just really since the combine, just everybody trying to gather information, and it's fun. Like everybody always has an idea. Spoon, Quan, Sid, Chase, right? But now Palcho, I get calls on Darkangelo, I get calls on Pilstrom, I get calls on Kendall Smith, I get calls on everybody really, and it's kind of fun because one of the things that's jumped out to me, I talked to a lot of D coordinators, a lot of personnel people, a lot of GMs, and they're like, man, are you guys fun to watch? Like just offensively, and then Chase on the offense side of the ball. Tommy has gotten a lot of interest here of late, so you're sad because they go, but you're excited for them because of where it's going. I'm actually flying to Kansas City for the draft. I've had several first-round picks, but I've never gone to the draft. I don't know why I never thought of it. I just never really, I kind of let them live their moment. But just the things that Spoon has done and gone, we're going to go to the draft, and then I'm actually flying to Canada. I'm going to be with Sid and Chase. I'm sending Aaron to Florida. He'll be with Quan. I didn't think we could get to both spots in the same day. So we're going to cover it as coaches and be with them and help them celebrate, and I think there'll be a lot of happy guys.
Well, good.